Kevin Garnett thumping his chest. David Robinson, emotionless right now with the tip in the backcourt, won by the San Antonio Spurs. Left side to Garnett. 9 on the shot clock. Brandon running into the lane. Oh, he steps right by Robinson with a right-hand backhander. Did well that time.
They did. The transition on defense was excellent, not allowing the Spurs to get into the threat area.
You got a call window. Tim Duncan with the lost art. The bank shot from a wicked angle, 15 feet out. It is Smith. Shot up by Elliott. Garrett with a nice pass. Interior. Left side to Garnett. The follow-away jumper good for Kevin.
Garnett.
They're getting some shots now, James. 3 for 10 here in the early going. And the San Antonio Spurs 2 for 5. And there comes Tim Duncan. Baseline left with a two-hand jam.
It's phenomenal. He can go either way.
Smith with a jumper short. Duncan seals off Garnett for the rebound. Back Avery Johnson shooting free throws. The Spurs lead the Timberwolves 8-7 from the Alamo Dome. Joe's pump fakes, drives Jerome Kersey into the lane. Tried to hand off when he should have taken the shot and handed right to Robinson, releasing his Elliott. Finds Duncan trailing for the slam.
On the fast break, you're going to see Malik Sealy going right into the teeth of the defense. David Robinson just took it for him. And right there, Mario Ellie recognizes Duncan trailing the play. And you know what the results are. High percentage shot, the highest percentage shot.
Great deal of experience on the San Antonio bench. When you can consider Kersey's been in the finals twice in the early 90s with the Portland Trailblazers. Duncan driving into the lane, his shot erased by Garnett. But again, goaltending the call.
Well, Garnett is going to learn this is a 5-game series. Tim Duncan doing it all inside out. That time taking it on the dribble. Garnett late with the block. Ball on the way down. Tim Duncan, exceptional, very versatile.
Flowing for this young Minnesota team, sometimes too much. They say that Garnett sometimes gets too pumped up early in a ball game. But he finds Mitchell across the lane for an open jumper. Soda with a recovery. They try to spread the floor for Brandon to create. Pick and slip. Garnett right side with a high hook off the window, up and in. Kevin Garnett with a beautiful shot. And the Spurs with the recovery. A minute gone by here in the second quarter. Duncan from the top finds the open man. Rose swivels to the hole and packs it down with 2 hands. Another Garnett called with a foul the previous play.
Here's Tim Duncan at the top of the key. Just a little touch pass. Everyone's watching Tim Duncan. Meanwhile, Rose getting behind the defense. Very effective. Tim Duncan, high-low pass.
Percent shooting team right now, but only trailing by 3. Garnett again rimming one off.
I got to tell you, it gets a lot of anxiety comes about in the playoffs. Game 2, you got to win, or else you give up home court advantage. As Garnett finally connects, the Spurs are playing right into Flip Saunders' hand because it's very, very sloppy for the Spurs on the offensive end as Garnett finally gets some deep position. Unstoppable jump hook over Tim Duncan. Right away, as you can see, the matchup on the other end, Garnett and Duncan. This time Garnett gets pretty low position. 1, 2 dribbles, a little fake to the baseline, unstoppable.
Duncan's got to get the Spurs in their set, and he does, throwing to the top to Duncan and then to Elliott on the backdoor lob for the lay-in. That ends a dry spell of nearly 5 minutes of non-scoring. And then Garrett throws it away to Duncan. Kelly 2-on-2 to the glass with the left hand. Garnett is at the top to erase the shot, but Elliott with a recovery. Garnett steps up and rejects Duncan again.
The house of pain, as you see. Duncan with the steal. Ellie going to the hole, but Garnett's going to come and possible goaltend there. But then Duncan, Garnett once again, and Popovich upset. He had a good angle at it, calling for the goaltending. Very upset to a team making them play the way they aren't accustomed to. As Terrell Brandon again on the hustle play.
Oh, but it was Kevin Garnett that found that loose ball beneath the rim and deflects it back to Brandon for the lay-in.
With a lot of confidence. Look at the hustle. Garnett over Tim Duncan, back to Terrell Brandon. You won't see that on the stat sheet. That's an intangible.
In the winning game 1, Kevin Garnett faces up, and an 18-footer, nothing but silk for the man they used to call the big ticket in the Twin Cities.
Well, Garnett's ability to face up and shoot this jumper really opens up things for him when he does post up. Look at the face. My guy, the big ticket. Shooting randomly. Smarter team than we saw in game 1.
Garnett with a sensational underhand scoop delivery to Dean Garrett for the sweeping reverse.
Well, Brandon says, look, we don't have anything. Let's get a shot, and there it is.
Garnett missing. Duncan sealing him off for the rebound. Watch a big man at nearly 7 feet with the great recognition of the floor and the find in traffic. Oh, that's nice. Garnett to Garrett, and the Wolves have a 9-point lead. Duncan in the early offense backs down Smith, lays him out, steps over him, and lays it up and in. First points, James, since the first quarter. Garnett doubled, finds Smith, they'll leave him alone. That was a mistake. 17-footer good. Shooting, so they're going to try Steve Kerr. Defensively, he's a liability. Let's see if they go to the mismatch. Here's Garnett for the jumper short.
Not shoot random perimeter shots and allow the Spurs to get on transition games for easy buckets.
Garnett takes steps. The 11th Minnesota turnover. Garnett, one dribble to Sealy. Oh, that was a clutch jump shot there. The defense laying off, wide open from 14 feet.
Well, Kevin, this is the quarter where men become boys.
Duncan with a right-hand hook on the low block, rejected by Garnett. Goaltending the call. Give Duncan the bucket.
Well, Garnett's got to make a decision. He did a pretty good job of forcing Duncan into a tough shot. Goaltending, you don't want to give away points.
For Duncan. Here's the pick and slip, and Garnett. Look at the extension with a right hand over Duncan, and a tremendous find by Terrell Brandon. Backs into a double team. Throws outside Elliott. Pump fakes. Duncan with it with 8 on the shot clock. One dribble and up with a left hand. They're going to the man. Tim Duncan. Goes with the ball at the top. Duncan again with it. Left side. Look at a big shot from 15. A sweet little smooch to pull the Spurs to within 5. They're getting on the back of the big man from St. Croix, Virgin Islands, Tim Duncan, and riding him to within 5 points.
And there's Tim Duncan with a nice little jump hook. And then he shows you that the bank is open, the ATM card is working, no insufficient funds for Tim Duncan off the glass, kissing it good.
2:57 and a key possession for Minnesota with the lead. Having a step in low and his way through the double team. Kevin Garnett to the glass for the roller.
Possession of the basketball and not turn it over.
Here's Duncan on his way to the rim. Challenged at the top of the shot block, but Duncan got it back. He ripped it away from Smith and laid it up and in. Tremendous recovery by Tim Duncan.
It's a different offense. It's not the triangle offense where he's comfortable with shooting those threes.
Brandon giving to Garnett, but he walked into the lane with it. Turnover on Minnesota, and back come the Spurs.
Where earlier in this quarter, you see Duncan being abused by Garnett, and then back on the other end of the court, Duncan comes right back. Double your fun, hustle. Duncan, the man.
With 13 points on 4 of 10 shooting. Now Peeler has the mismatch on Kerr, but there's Tim Duncan for the rebuke. Garnett has 17 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists. On the wing, it's KG. Got that 15-footer from the right side with 1 on the shot clock.
And scored some buckets and finished this game off.
Good double play of Brandon. He's forced to get rid of it to Mitchell. 6 on the shot clock, and Kevin Garnett hits another jumper. Nothing but shot clock.
He's hot. He's hot.
Oh,
he's feeling it.
Man.
He's feeling it.
That is playoff baskets.
He's the guy.
Dips his shoulder, jump pass to Mitchell. Running right-hander, incredible shot by Mitchell. Put his shoulder in on Elliott, off contact, he hits the runner. And this is a club that really does not have a capable backup point guard, the Minnesota Timberwolves. They leaned on Brandon, but in the end, it was the big ticket, Kevin Garnett, that carried him with 1 big jump shot after another in the 4th quarter of play. The Timberwolves hang on to win this one, 80-71. On the San Antonio Spurs. Well, we'll go down to Norma Wick now with KG, Kevin Garnett.
Thanks, Kevin. You said you were going to go back into your lab, Shades of Seattle. You come out, made the adjustments, and you came out with a win.
Like I said earlier, we've been playing with adversity all this year. We've been through so much this year, and we know what it's like to play with our backs against the wall. You know, you guys, and I don't mean TNT, but I mean the media put us down like we was going to get swept. We're watching little local commercials talking about get your brooms. That's like an insult, man. You know, we're an NBA team too. We get paid just like they get paid. And, you know, we got good talent and come out with the idea to win tonight, and that's what we did.
You said you wanted to shock the world. I think you've momentarily stunned them, at least here in San Antonio at home. How big was this win on the road for you?
Shock the world comment. That was something that I made fun of, but, you know, people sort of sticking to it. So, you know, hey, I stick to my word, but at the same time, we're playing good basketball. You know, we're executing. We came out, we played aggressive for 48 minutes, which was the difference in game one.
23 points, 10 in the fourth quarter. You came out strong.
I played hard. I want to say hello to my grandmother who was in the hospital. I love you, Granny.
All right, thanks, Kevin. Back to you, Kevin.
Kevin Garnett, 23 points, 12 rebounds.